Good evening. Today I'll be recording the banking sector video. During the week, I had shared a Twitter poll in which I had told people to vote for which sector they would like analyzed over the weekend, and the most votes came for the banking sector. So I'll be looking at the banking sector to see where most stocks are going and which stocks are tradable and which stocks are not tradable. Now, the first thing we're looking at is the Bank Nifty Index futures. This one, I'm going to just do a glance over it. I will cover it in detail tomorrow in the pre-market video. So if we look at it on a positional basis, the Bank Nifty future currently is at a support zone, which is 34,075, and it has another quant support zone at 33,900 rupees. So now this is going to be a very important zone for the Bank Nifty. The reason I say this is that the technical indicators of the Bank Nifty, such as ones which are built, which are combining something like the ADX and RSI, are showing signs of turning neutral from being severely bearish. So now that is a positive sign. So if we were to see rejection of the current support levels, then that will be a very positive sign. Naturally, we will first have to go a bit down and test the support, after which we can form a bounce. But now the big question is how long will the bounce sustain? That can only be said in the coming days. Now the next one we're going to look at is the Nifty Private Bank Index. The Nifty Private Bank Index has basically reached uh, support zone on the candle front, which is very important because if it were to crack this support at 17,170, then it has the potential of falling up to 16,750, which is roughly, let's put it in, 16,750, which is roughly there. That will not be good for all traders naturally. But the only positive, again, this index is that the index is trying to find a bottom in its technical indicators when we take a good look at them. Next one is the Nifty PSU Bank Index. Now this one, when I remember looking at it, so from November 2020, it has not broken below the 20-day, 200-day moving average on the daily chart. The index is now trying to see whether it can hold this support, and that will be very key for the index as it basically has a candle support zone that is between here, this area. So if it were to break the final candle support, let me just open it on the screen. If it were to break the candle support zone at let's say 2527, then we will have a fall directly up to 2,450 rupees, which when we draw is roughly there, which is also candle support zone when we look at it, and also we can say it's a change of polarity zone as this was former resistance here and here, but it came new support. So basically, it's very important for it to hold Friday's low or this candle's low. If we open in a bearish manner, we can test there and then have a bounce. Why I'm saying that is because this index is also trying to form a bottom in the technical indicators. Now, the first stock we're looking at in the banking sector is RBL Bank. And RBL Bank, when we look at it, I will leave my page there. Now, RBL Bank is in a conundrum. It is at a box range support. The reason I say that is basically on 27 deck, it had a gap down, which on the weekly chart formed a big bearish bar. From then up till now, it has stayed within this range, which is quite commendable for the stock. As amidst all this fall, you'd have expected a weak stock like RBL to kick it, but it has managed to hold this range. And when we look at it on the technical indicator first, it is trying to find a bottom around here. However, the issue RBL Bank is facing is they simply every rise is getting sold into. So what we'll have to look in for the RBL Bank, you can trade it as a long in the short term, but that is only to be done once it can reclaim the 20-day moving average and the 50-day moving average on the 4-hour chart. How I would play it if it holds the support, you can try a very risky long up till 20-day if it manages to reclaim this up till 50-day on the 4-hour chart. But we have to understand one thing that this one has been getting slammed by the 20-day from here on the 4-hour chart. But on the other hand, if it were to break the support at 125 on the daily chart, the next quant support zone is at 113 rupees. So this is a candle support. Quant support zone at 113 rupees, and the long-term support zone is at 99 rupees. So to me, the stock every rise is going to keep getting sold into, and if it were to have a bounce to back to this one, you find it very tough to crack it. I would be looking at this stock for more positional shorting. When if it were to rise towards this side, you can sell calls for it to head back to number one here, number two, and number three. But in the medium to long term, I see it reaching number three, which is 100, roughly 100 rupees from its current price of 126.55. The next one is State Bank of India. State Bank of India is at uh, yeah, State Bank of India is at a curious place actually when I look at it because it has a candle support zone which we can highlight basically this line which is drawn here, which is also a change of polarity zone as former resistance can be support. But also on the weekly chart, this is a candle support. So we have to see whether it can hold the range between 450 and 446, and that is the core support zone. But I expect it to hold this zone for only one reason is that on the daily chart, the stock is trying to form neutrality as seen with the Nifty PSU Bank Index. And if you look at the chart, they basically alike. And also this one has the 200-day moving average here. So I find it highly probable that it will hold the zone between 446 and 450. However, if it were to break that zone, then it will be in for a very sharp tumble up till, I'll tell you. If it breaks 446, then the next support for it is at 420 rupees. However, I am expecting this index to hold this support zone and have a sort of a bounce at this point. So I'll be looking more to the long side once it declines to there. The next stock is HDFC. HDFC, in fact, because I had tried to record this earlier, but I had some recording issues. When we look at it, it has got candle support at 133.6.20, which is the low. And on the 4-hour chart and 3-hour chart, we can see it is even on the daily chart, but here it is clearer. It is heavily trying to reject the bottom. So now the big question is whether that will be successful. If it is able to reject the bottom, then we can expect a bounce, but the bounce will be towards the 20-day moving average on the 4-hour chart. People who don't have quants and all that can simply use that as a initial target for the 3-hour and the 4-hour one. However, if it were to break this support due to FI selling increasing, then 1,270, sorry, not 1,289.5 will be the next support zone to watch for the stock. However, I would prefer to trade SBI and RBL over this, as their charts are more clear in where they want to go. HDFC is more of an intraday play for those FIs. Now the next one is ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank looks like a stock that's on life support machines. It's just clearly smashed below the 200-day moving average. 20-day moving average has been constant resistance. However, this one, yes, it is oversold clearly, and it's trying to find a bottom here. But I would not go long in this stock right now on a positional basis. It's not a buy and dip so far. And according to me, every rise is going to get smashed. As you can see, the 20-day moving average is being a good resistance in the 3 hour and the 4 hour chart. And so any rise, I will look at it as just basically an opportunity for intraday playing rather than positional. And its main support is at 668, which is a quant support zone, but also a bit of a change of polarity. So that is a good thing. However, this stock is still very bearish. I expect it in the medium term to test 668 before it can have any significant up move. The next stock is Kotak Mahindra. Kotak Mahindra, Kotak Mahindra has 1650 is a quant support zone and 17015 is a candle support zone. So basically, we are looking for it to hold this box range as it has been holding since November 2020. In fact, it has hugged it very tightly. So we can expect the same. I am not one who's going to say buy on the dip in this stock also, as it's not a buy on the dip when you look at the weekly chart. High probability of it touching here, and there the risk is very high for the 200-day moving average. And when we look at it in the percentage terms, basically if it touches here, you have lost 5.44%. If it touches the moving average, you have lost 11%, which there's no point of trying to find a bottom in a stock that is not performing since November. Coming to Axis Bank. Axis Bank had a good fall on Friday. Gap down on the 4 hour chart. We are seeing there was some sort of rejection on here. The only one positive I see for Axis for Monday is that it has tested the low. It nearly tested the low of the 4 hour chart. And we have to see whether this can hold. There is also a candle support zone here. Highlight with a brush because this is a candle support zone. This again is a candle support zone. So we have to see whether these two can manage to hold. If it does not hold that, then the next target is 695 rupees, which is basically the quant support zone for the stock. Deleted by mistake. Indusind Bank. Indusind Bank, another one. Do not buy on the dip at any cost, as this dip will cost you in the medium term a lot. Why I say that is when you look at the weekly chart, this thing has been rejected by all the moving averages. It's not been shown any love. And 50 days is now a resistance on the daily, 20 days above it. We do not want the 20 to slip below the 50 here as it will be gone. Currently it's holding 889. This is a basically box rate support for the index, for the stock. So it's important for it to hold this zone. To me, this stock is more of a short in the medium term, as I expect it when, when looking at the weekly chart to break the support zone and head further down. My medium term target for this stock is 770 rupees, which is roughly here. That's my medium term target for this stock. It's not a buy and dip at any point. Next one is Bandhan Bank. Now, Bandhan Bank is at a candle support at 267, but I am expecting Bandhan Bank. Any bounce will be basically killed by this gap down resistance here. Any bounce will be slaughtered here. So any basically whenever it goes towards there on the intraday chart, 4-hour chart, basically a 3-hour chart, I look for weakness here to short it back with a target of 258 for it. Punjab National has basically got the 20-day hammering it. When we look at the stock, same box range support. The support has been playing out for Punjab National. If we look at the monthly chart from December 2020, when it has not managed to breach the support. However, I I do not expect this to breach the support even now. I expect it basically it will be dilly-dallying itself around here, forming a box range. So this is not a stock out trade. I'll only consider it if it manages to break this support, and if it comes towards here, it will be a buy on dip for me then. But otherwise, as of now, no action. Just sit away from it. As it gap down, then the gap down candle is going to be the range for the coming sessions. If it rises, it will be rising to just to the 37.10, which is the gap down resistance. Next is AU Bank. AU Bank, I've never seen a bunch of theirs till today in India. AU Bank has got a candle support zone at 1125. However, when we look at the weekly chart, things are not good for this stock. I will be looking to short it more towards 1036, which is a quant support zone for me. So if it breaks the current support at 1125 in the medium term, I will look to short it, towards this. This can be sold done by intraday MI shorts or options, selling options, whichever way you want. But it will be, I think, now having a gradual fall, not the sharp fall as we've been seeing. So may have one more tough candle, to which it will be gradual. The next one is IDFC First Bank. Also, not a buy on the dip at any cost, which is, let me open the weekly chart. Sorry, open the monthly. Weekly. Yeah, even on the technical indicators front, not a buy on the dip. As any rise will get sold into within a few trading sessions. Avoid it and just basically, if it breaks this support zone between 39.05 and 40.75, initial target is 36.50. But for me, the long-term target for this stock, medium-term target, I would say, for this stock is around basically 31 rupees. Once it reaches 31 rupees, I will consider it depending on the candle pattern. But as of now, not a buy on it. Next one is the Federal Bank. Federal Bank is one stock I've always managed to miss its up moves. Now, Federal Bank is not that bad according to me because its RSI and ADX combo indicator has not bottomed out. But that is not a negative for me as number one, when I look at it, it is testing its 20-day moving average here, but it is in an uptrend sort of way, and it has a very strong support at 91 rupees. So this is a very strong support, and then it has another strong support at 88.5. So basically, now this is heading towards a strong support zone where there's 200 moving average, there's a quant here and there's a quant here. And also, yeah, this is also candle support zone. When you look at it, which cause when you look at the full range, this was a resistance for quite some time, and now it's support. So that's a big positive. So I wouldn't buy it here. I will wait for it to fall between 88.5 to 91, and then it can be a buy as it will have gone back to this zone. However, if it breaks 88.5, then this stock will be in real trouble as it will head towards 77 rupees. If it breaks, that will basically fall to here. Yeah. If it breaks that, it will fall to here. So basically, and you're making an entry, I would say you make a small entry, and as it rises, you buy. However, if it breaks this, medium term target is 77 rupees. Anyways, that is all for the banking sector video. Every other, every few days, not every other week, every few days, I'll look at another sector and I'll put a Twitter poll for that. And also at the bottom of this video, I've shared a Google form. In that Google form, do fill in your contact details, and that will let you be in a WhatsApp group where stock ideas and everything will be shared, which will not be available even on YouTube. I'll be closing that form on Tuesday, and that's when I'll transfer those numbers into one some mobile, and it can be utilized from then. So from Tuesday onwards, you will start receiving WhatsApps about what is going on. Also, do like and subscribe to the channel, and do share the video to other people.